All right, welcome to Ethereum Cat Herders meeting 84. I have shared agenda into chat. The first item listed here is Ethereum network upgrade. Of course, the merge, which we are expecting this summer. Latest updates on that are mainnet shadow fork number 3 was deployed last Thursday. TTT was a hit and the participation rate post TTD was 97.6%. Besu and Get had some issues. Otherwise, all other client combinations seem to be working fine. There were some issues reported with Prism and Nethermind too, but that are being fixed now. I suppose we may expect at least one more mainnet shadow fork. And on the resources side, Mario from the Ethereum Foundation, who recently have joined to help out with the EAP bot on the process side as well, has released a HackMD file with curated list of useful resources on merge. The link is added to the agenda, so please check it out. The next upgrade, Shanghai. So it was mentioned in the last all core dev call that core devs may not be proactively working to diffuse the difficulty bomb. However, the plan is to further monitor and make decision during May or during forking the testnets if any kind of resetting of the bomb will be required at the time. To get more information on difficulty bomb and Shanghai proposals, tune in for the next all coder meeting, which is scheduled this Friday at 1400 UTC. Another important information, I think that is not listed here on the agenda, but maybe worth sharing with people. So yesterday, some people reported about Gorley nodes getting down. Ronin, who is an Catherder contributor and also a Gorley validator, he confirmed that the issue has been resolved now and nodes are up and running. We would like to encourage more people with any kind of Gorley issue or information to join us on the Catherdis Discord. So if you're a validator or maybe have a question, comment, concern related to Gorley at all, share with us on ETH Catherdis Discord. Any question, comment so far? All right. Moving ahead, number 2 is about new initiatives. So the first one here is ECH GitHub backup. Briefly raised and discussed in the last meeting about how do we take backup for GitHub. William Schwab suggested radical.xyz and one other contributor suggested rweave. So I was having this conversation with the other contributor. He kind of specified the cost that may be associated with having GitHub backup. It seems reasonable, but the cost will be like every time we will be uploading. So if we are moving in the direction of having a backup, a few questions that is there for this group will be like, which tool is most suitable for us and which repos are we considering for backup? Just one more information here. In my mind, EIP could be one of the most useful process related decision placeholder, like we have collected all these decisions in the meeting notes. That can be one of the important ones. So I have tried to reach out to the foundation if they would be considering having a backup for EIP repo, though we have not heard anything concrete as such. But yeah, we still have to think about other repos. Any thought, questions?
I had a question. Is the Ethereum Foundation is it something that they are considering as well, a backup for their GitHub?
I think they are already doing it.
I see. On Airweave?
I'm not sure of that particular because Airweave was suggested by one of the cat herders contributor, not the, the foundation people.
I see.
As far as using Arweave would go, what would be the exact format? Is there some kind of project on Arweave that handles code repositories or Git repositories? What would even be the methodology behind that?
So my high level understanding is it is like every time we upload something to Arweave, and the cost that was mentioned was around 125 MB per dollar. But this will be like every time we would like to update. Say, for example, we do it bi-weekly, then for the changes, it will be there. Though I do not have full details of it, but I'm expecting the person who shared this information may be able to help us more if we would like to go in this direction. Do you by any chance have any information of radical.xyz, William Shaw? I'm sorry to put you on spot, just curious.
What about it?
About
like how it works? What is it?
Yeah, backup, or if there is any price associated or frequency.
No.
All right.
It's self-hosting. Well, okay, it's not exactly self-hosting, but it's more or less self-hosting on a centralized network. So there is a UI, like they already have their own app that should aid in terms of just like having an easy graphical interface for, uploading things. And it's built to handle repositories, so it should not be that hectic of a process. I'd also imagine they have a number of people who are very active in the ecosystem. I would imagine that if we were interested in starting to use them like as a serious backup, I'd imagine they'd be able to spare someone who would be able to help us out a bit with the process, but that is speculation on my part.
All right, so one question that is going to be like open, irrespective of which like tool or project we would like to take help for having a backup of this GitHub. Which all repositories do we think are worth putting on maybe blockchain or any other places for backup? As of now, I can see PM, EIP, IP, 1559 outreach. I'm not sure how valuable it is after the 1559 is already deployed. There is ProgPower audit. Same for that. Yeah. What do people think here?
I think even the funding repository would be important just to have that information, like accounts.
I don't think issues would come over. It happens to be, as in when you're looking kind of GitHub, it's and I guess this might get into the guts of how something like GitHub works. But with GitHub, the issues are probably available through their API, which is something I do not have experience with. But usually when we talk about a repo, what we're talking about is the actual Git repository that is then being hosted on GitHub. I don't know if this is like 100% clear. Maybe the easiest way I could say, like I could try and describe it is actually taking a look at the web page when you're in a GitHub repo. The parts that are more, I'd say, in your hands and not fully in Microsoft/GitHub's are the parts kind of under the menus, like where you start seeing the folders and all of that. That's a Git repository that's generally mirrored on some machine somewhere in the world and is just being hosted there on GitHub, or sorry, it's being mirrored on GitHub from somebody's machine somewhere. Like the issues, the pull requests, things like that, those kind of live inside of GitHub. And there might be a way to retrieve the information through the API. I don't know one way or the other, but I think no matter where the backup tasks would be, that's probably going to be a bit of a process. You might want to get someone who like knows their web scraping or something like that, and see if that's possible.
Yeah, so my understanding was like the all .md files or any kind of file and folders available on the GitHub repository will be moved as a backup. And to answer your question, Shubhangi, we do maintain a separate spreadsheet for internal purposes for record keeping. So we do have a backup for that information.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for the clarification.
So at the moment, I was considering that we are actively working on the first thing. Our website is being hosted via GitHub, so all the codes are available in there. That is one important repository that we may want to save. The other one is learn to earn, because there we are developing an app and all the codes are only available on our GitHub. So we would like to save that as well. With respect to PM, that is all the meeting notes. And EIP, I'll check out with the foundation. If they are taking care of it, then we may not have to. If they don't, then probably that will be also a part of this backup that we would be needing for. Does that sound reasonable to people? Or if there is any other suggestion? I'll take it as no objection. So yeah, maybe if someone can help out with the process of the entire process, let us know how to proceed in that direction. That would be great. I don't know if anyone from the group would like to take a lead, and I'm hoping that person who has suggested this may also be one of the contributors, so I can maybe talk to him as well after this call. But the first thing that we need to maybe check on would be like, should we want to go with the radical or do we want to go with RV?
They aren't mutually exclusive also. I mean, maybe I'll even throw this out. If there's anybody out there who's listening to this and thinks that they would know like what we would need to do in order to start using RWeave as a backup or to get started with radical, like please do reach out. We would love a hand with this.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. Please reach out and let us know. Yeah, we can think of having a backup because all these meeting notes may be of importance for people to refer in future. Okay, so that was about GitHub. Similarly, we received this another request on Discord from Mitago about the YouTube backup. So yeah, Mitago, if you would like to share about that.
Yeah, I just I was reading news about some Web3 accounts that got banned on YouTube, and I saw recent news that they were unbanned, and YouTube is working with them to so that the access is restored. But it just got me thinking that it's good to have a backup for the video series since we have so many links referring to it, and there's so much educational content on there, so it would be good to have a backup of the videos that ECH puts out. And I
RWeave
think
would
in
be
the
great there. That's a great idea.
oh, thanks.
So did you mention RV would be great there?
Yeah, I believe that there are already video hosting services on top of it. Maybe Glass, I think, is one of them. Do any of us still have contact with Chris Hobcroft?
I think
I
I
think
can
there's a good
talk to
chance
him.
he'd know.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
think
I
there's a
can
good
talk
chance
to
he's
him.
now. I don't think he's been by live peer for a while, if I'm not mistaken, though I haven't been keeping up. Could be still there, but I'd suspect just like from his like kind of history dealing with a lot of decentralized video streaming stuff, I would hope that he'd also know something about current state of decentralized video hosting.
All right, I'll try to reach out to him. I know he's on our Discord server, so maybe I'll try to make a contact and get some more information. However, there was another suggestion coming up from Micah. It was Odyssey. Odyssey platform, and he suggested that maybe we would like to have a backup of all the recordings, not only for cat herders but also for the foundation. I'm not sure about this, like a foundation are having any backup for their YouTube videos or meetings, but yeah, that's worth exploring. But just for information, like we are already saving all cat herders meeting notes in form of podcast on blockchain, but we do not have any content like Peepenny or any other useful content, which I think will be more useful than the meetings for community maybe, but yeah. Okay. Thank you for the suggestion, William Sharp. I'll try to get in touch with Chris and see if he may help us in that, like if he may know some solution that is working good. I'll try to bring back whatever information I could collect from him in the next meeting. The next one is ECH Twitter Spaces. So basically, this is coming from a chat which I had with the one of the maybe potential contributor. He left some comment. So if you can scroll down the meeting agenda, he left some comments there. He's willing to contribute to Ethereum cat herders, and he shared some of his suggestion that we might engage community, Chinese community, especially with the help of Twitter, making some conversation with broader crypto community. So he proposes to organize Twitter spaces, though it's unclear to me, like he wants to have a different Twitter account to handle that, because his point number one suggests that using social forums to distribute content, such as creating a Chinese community Twitter account so that the latest development can be disseminated. Unfortunately, it's not a good time for him, so he could not join this meeting, but maybe we can check with him if the proposal is to have a separate Twitter account for Chinese community, or if the proposal is to make use of the present cat herders Twitter. Other than that, he also has certain suggestions to improve the Discord server setting, and he has requested to add as a contributor so he can start working on it. I wonder what people think about all these potential ways to engage community.
I have also talked before about having like multilingual support to expand the scope of people interested in joining the community, and also having like at least one meeting a month that's in the Asian time zone. So actually I had that one meeting last month, but I think the timing was an issue. So I would like to have another meeting to welcome people based in Asia. And I agree, like having multilingual support would be good. But I think having him come and explain a bit more, even if he writes in Chinese, can be okay, because we can use Google Translate. And I'm sure some members, I can read a little bit of Chinese, so I can maybe work with him a bit on what he's doing. So I have general support for his ideas, but I don't really know the details, so I can't really say more.
Yeah, and I think maybe just to build on top of what Shivangi is saying, I think everybody here would love to see multilingually and also more globally. The only thing that we need to be able to do, and I think you just touched on this very nicely also, is make sure that there's a certain level of quality to content. Like we wouldn't want someone to be able to roll in who might be more dubious or even have malicious intent and be able to leverage the fact that nobody knows what they're saying on our side anyway to use it as a platform for anything malicious. So just, and I think a lot of it's about figuring out how we can kind of ensure quality, how we can ensure trust as we move into something more global. But I absolutely think that we should try and push the envelope on this and figure out a way to make it work.
That's very good feedback. Thank you, Shubhangi. Thank you, William. I did mention about Shubhangi being working from Japan, maybe in the Asia time, and maybe if I can introduce you both so you can get to know more about it. You have been a contributor here for a while, so it will be easier to maybe able to convince him to be a part of it. I don't know, but also to maybe evaluate how things work here and let him know more about it. And to the part of like building trust, I totally agree, William Schwab. This is very difficult when it comes to a different language that many of us may not be able to understand. So it needs to be well vetted. And I'm a little bit skeptical about giving all the permissions, even to the contributor level permission right away. I would like to maybe get some more work done or review more of the work before having permission shared on Discord.
Yeah, I totally agree with you and William about this. Like, just getting to know each other better would be a good idea right now.
Sounds good. So if you are okay, Shubhangi, maybe I can make an introduction of you both, and definitely you guys can catch up in your daytime if that helps.
Yeah, and maybe I can
Sure.
make an office hour. So if he wants to invite anybody, they can come and we can record the meeting.
Oh yeah, that is even better. Okay, maybe we can talk offline a bit more about it and figure out how we want to go ahead with this experiment. Once again, thank you, William. Thank you, Shubhangi. All right, moving ahead. The next item is events and hackathon. I have mentioned 2 events. Actually, those are hackathons as well. One is Warps Speed, that is organized by Folio from India. So that is a location constraint, but if people want to join, they can. Application is closing soon. The other one is ETH Prague, that's starting from June 10th. Check out the link added in the agenda for details and speakers who are speaking on the event. The next agenda item is ECH updates. The first one is ECH website. So I know the ECH website is more or less updated these days. We have tried to add more information of all the proposals. Those are in active discussion. I have created an issue to add a page for ECH podcast. Looks like when we started ECH podcast, we lost the support from the website development team and we were not able to add the page for podcast. So I don't know, Slava and maybe Santosh, if you can also work on that. Anyone who is available to work on that and maybe send a pull request, that would be helpful. And the merge resources that I just mentioned today in the meeting earlier, we would like to have that added, plus a couple of other EIP resources. So check out the GitHub, and if you can make a pull request, let me know.
Sure, I'll take a look at it.
Thank you. On ECH engineering, we are still looking for Ruby dev. We didn't hear from anyone. So if you are a Ruby dev listening to the call, want to support Ethereum protocol, please reach out to us. The other are EIP bot and EIPV. I know Jose is not here. The update is for EIPV, Ethereum Foundation has introduced a developer who may be helping out. He knows Rust, so he may be helping out with the bot that was created by Light Client, the validator bot. And Jose is working on the EIP bot. I think that is in JSON TypeScript. We are trying to figure out how to close all these issues sooner rather than later. And on a side note, the people are still discussing the plus and minuses of having a common repository for EIPs and ERCs. So if you want to learn more about it, please join the EIP meeting on next Wednesday at 1400 UTC. The time has changed recently. Sorry about that. And the last one is learn to earn. We're making good progress. I see George on the call. Over to you, George.
Yeah, we're making some pretty good progress. We're pretty much like 95% done. Just some like security stuff we need to do, bug testing. And we had like a meeting yesterday. We had some great ideas going on. So I'm excited to possibly implement those things as well, including like an interactive video. And we have a few other contributors who could really help us out on the design side. So yeah, it looks pretty exciting.
Thank you, George. Two things that we may need support there. One is POAP management. Like we are looking for someone who can maybe take care of the POAP issuance side. And the other is the quiz. So we are trying to have 10 or so questions for each quiz, so we can shuffle them, and the user may not get the same question if they are trying to take the quiz for the second time. So yeah, any support we can get in that direction, that would be helpful. You can get all the information. Those are available on L2E channel at Ethereum Cat Herders Discord. Check out the pinned notifications. That's all on Learn to Earn. The next one is Cat Blazers, ECH podcast. William Schwab, if you may have any update on there.
I've been in a bit of a lull as far as the podcast has gone. I am trying to get back to it. Some of it's just still settling into a new job and some other stuff with that. Other than that, I have been still there. There's also a certain amount of passive, but something close to passive onboarding work, either getting people reaching out to me or things like that, just to try and help them kind of find their way in this space. But it has been kind of a quieter month on that front. Also, kernel isn't active, so that also kind of inherently means that I won't be as active on that front.
Thank you, William, for updates. And talking about podcast, recently we received some requests from Foundation that we are making videos of PEEP and EEP. Those are educational, and many times it happens that because it is only available on YouTube, many people are not able to find that or maybe follow that. So they have requested if we can probably make a podcast version of this video series that we are running. So I'm in touch with
ZK yeah, we've been talking about the best way to do it. Like I mean, would that be just like audio content of the previous PEEP and EEPs? Because like so much of that seems based off of the presentation. No, like this could be a conversation we take offline if you want. I don't want to necessarily take up time in the meeting over it. But something I was chatting about was just like, how do we take something that has this strong visual element and make something useful out of it?
Yeah, that was my concern as well, and I tried to mention it. The response that I received was like, in the beginning of the podcast, we maybe mention it like this is an audio version of a video recorded, which is available at Ethereum Cat Herders YouTube. So if you want to follow, you can follow the link and then start the conversation of the earlier videos. But for the upcoming PEEP and EEP, maybe we would like to let the guest know in advance that there can be possibly an audio version of that. So try to be more using more words to express whatever is there in the presentation. However, there is no way to probably show the picture, the chart, the block diagram that they are explaining.
Yeah, so I mean, for previous episodes, like maybe be recording something and putting it in the beginning, and maybe we use that moving forward also. But then also, I guess you're saying for future guests, just to say there may also be people who listen without watching. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Right. So we are still exploring ways how to get it done for the past episodes, because the audio quality was a concern. So we are still working on that, maybe for future videos. So it might take some time to maybe come up with a concrete plan, but maybe we can take it offline. Yeah, you, me, and ZK, we can think more about it and see how we can have this audio version available for people who want to listen to podcast. All right.
If we're moving on to ECH operations, I finally got access to the Zoho account, so I can now create anything at Ethereum cat headers that URL. So
Ooh. So yeah, so maybe we'll be in touch about getting a podcast at Ethereum characters then.
so yeah, just let me know what email you want at ethereumcatherders.com is what it is, right? Let me know and I can get that created now.
Podcast. So yeah, if you make a podcast one, that'd be great.
Wait, so you're asking, yeah, I didn't understand. So what do you mean when you mentioned, you're saying a podcast wants to have an email or we want, yeah, I'm not following what you mean by podcast.
Like so in chat.
Oh, podcast at ethereumcathers.com. Okay, thanks. Sorry, I wasn't understand. Okay, so yeah, I can set that up. Does someone want to? So then I'll set that up. And I'll,
yeah, ZK Dufanai.
oh, okay, let me get the, yeah, could you type the contacts of those people that want that in, and then I can
I'll send you my email. I don't have his handy. Can I just DM it to on Discord?
Yeah. That'd be great.
Awesome. Great. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brent. I was wondering like if it worked or not, because I was also doing it for the first time, but it did work. All right. Any more updates on operations?
I was thinking of having the new joiners meeting again this month, but we can talk about it offline regarding the date. I think 2 people signed up on the onboarding form. So, and one of them was introduced by Ken and he messaged me about it today. So I'm guessing that at least one person would be interested in joining the meeting. So we can talk about it later, but I was thinking around May 27th.
Right. All right, maybe we can have a chat about this because if we are having a meeting, we would like to have more than 1 or 2 participants joining it, because video recording is always available for people to go back and refer to. So if we can try to engage more people with questions. I was also considering like, should we kind of make the cat headers meeting part of it, like 30 minutes or 15 minutes, especially dedicated to all these new joiners.
Yeah, that's also a good idea since it would be introducing them to the whole group.
Right. All right, maybe we can chat a little bit more about it offline and then update rest of the people here in the group.
Sounds good.
Okay, moving on. The next item is EAP's Insight. I have added up till May 9th, till yesterday. This time the Insight has a couple of new charts to display EIPs in different categories and in the status of draft and final. We have got 9 new EIPs as draft so far. 3 potential proposals are yet to be merged, and 2 EIPs of ERC category are promoted to review. 4 EIPs are moved to stagnant due to inactivity over 6 months, and 1 proposal 1967 standard proxy storage slot is in last call. There was some modification to the proposal. Because of that, it has a new last call ending period, and that is 14th of May. So anyone, if you have any comment, question, suggestion on this proposal, please try to reach author on discussion to link and get that updated. That's all about EAP's Insight. You can find the details in the link that is added to the agenda. Next one is PPENI, and we have released a video talk on EIP 4626 tokenized vault standard with Jet Jadeja early this month. Today we have a planned meeting for EIP 3540 and EIP 3670. Both are EVM proposals which are expected with Shanghai. And the guests are the co-authors from a team Epsilon. Later this month, we have EIP 1202, which is voting standard, and we are also trying to reach out to client teams to check out their preparation for March, like the readiness for the March. And the first meeting on that is with Besu client on May 31st. Please check out the schedule, and that is added here for upcoming PPENI meetings. Next one is meeting notes and action items for ECH contributors. I know, Santosh, you mentioned something you wanted to share with us. So if you would like to share that.
Sure. Last time I mentioned, right? Like it might be really difficult for you to review like 15 pull requests alone for yourself. Maybe we can do one is pairing. For me, there'll be one person who will always review my peer, and I can review this or a peer every time. So we can align on that, or we can have one person who will ensure that he or she will review all the PS together, right? It basically needs like 2 to 3 hours where you need to go through the entire video and ensure the content is right, and if the action items are well defined, that should be it, and give the suggestions, right? So we can do either way, whichever works out. Happy to take suggestion here. What are the how others feels on this?
So I was discussing this with PM team as well, Ethereum PM team as well, and their recommendation was like, because we are already paying for the notes, documenting of the notes, someone spending another 2 or 3 hours going through entire notes may not be that valuable, even not for that person worth spending that amount of time. So what we can do here is maybe check it out on the high level, very high level, that the formatting is right, the discussion items and the decision items and action items are listed. We have the timestamps, and the recommendation was we should have timestamp per speaker, and that is easily available because we are now getting captions, and captions has the timestamp. So if we can add that, so even if there is minor mistake in notes and it's not clear to the reader, maybe he can just check out and validate it is. So yeah, that was the idea, but yeah, open to other suggestion. If people think that's like spending this amount is okay, I don't know, let me know.
Yeah, I think that's good, especially if people have a way, if someone sees an issue somewhere and can like get it to us or fix it themselves in a wiki kind of way, then that could solve a lot of the problems too without a lot of extra work, I would think.
Right. And I think we maybe want to list all the check items, like what all we want to check when we are reviewing notes. If that is handy, then people can be a reviewer, anyone who are already documenting notes.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sure, maybe I'll add the FAQ there, that what needs to be taken care at the time of review, and everyone else can add to it.
Yeah, if we can make a list, that would be great. We can probably add it to the GitHub, so whoever is a new reviewer may be able to refer to that.
What it will do.
Thank you. So I think we have notes for 2 meetings. No, in fact, 3. We received the consensus meeting notes this morning. So only one EIP AP meeting notes are missing. I have to check with the person documenting that. But again, a request to the notes documenting community please try to submit your notes within the first 5 days of timeline. That is very important. So if you are for some reason unable to do that, we'll be able to engage another community member. It would be an opportunity for other people to learn and maybe able to be a regular contributor in future. And also it will create a standard that will set people's expectation that notes are available within this period of time frame. That being said, we are looking for more people to document notes, especially for all core dev meeting and the consensus layer meetings. These are the important meetings, and we have only 2 contributors on list as of today. So if you are interested in documenting notes, please reach out. We do have certain bounties associated with documentation of these notes. So reach us. We'll hope to have you on schedule. The last item for today's discussion is review of outstanding action item from previous ECH meeting. 83. Okay. I think there is only one decision item. There is no action item mentioned, and it is like we may use radical.xyz to back up. But it looks like we do not have a concrete decision on that. We may be spending a couple of more weeks to decide, like maybe radical or RV or both. So we'll keep this item on discussion for the next meeting. I think that concludes everything listed here. Anyone has anything else to bring up for today? Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I hope to see communication going on the general channel of the Ethereum Cathedral Discord, or any specific channel if that is there, if you're working on a specific project. So yeah, nice to have you today. Hope to see you in 2 weeks. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Pooja.